Hello, little friends. Are you ready for a new adventure? Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine we are flying with the clouds. Let's begin today's story. Once upon a time, on a peaceful night full of stars, there was a little boy named Sammy. Sammy was lying in his bed, gazing out of his window at the glowing moon. Suddenly, he felt a gentle breeze lift him softly, and when he opened his eyes, he found himself standing on a soft cloud, like a magical flying carpet. He looked around in awe, and the cloud was alive. Its eyes sparkled with kindness, and its smile was warm, like an old friend. Sammy smiled and said with excitement, "What a magical adventure!" As the cloud carried Sammy gently across the sky, he spotted something beautiful. Colorful little birds flying around a cozy nest, carrying grains in their beaks to feed their chicks. Sammy stood and watched with love, smiling and saying, "What a beautiful sight! The birds are working so hard for their babies, just like my mom does for me." At that moment, the birds chirped joyfully, as if thanking him for noticing their effort. Sammy continued his journey through the clouds, and suddenly he heard a soft buzzing sound. He looked around and saw golden bees flying around glowing flowers, carefully collecting nectar. One little bee landed gently on his hand as if saying, "We bees always work together. Cooperation makes everything better." Sammy smiled and said, "You're amazing. Teamwork really does make everything possible." After a while, the cloud drifted by an old olive tree floating in the sky. But beside it, there was another little boy, sitting with his head lowered and eyes filled with sadness. Sammy felt something strange in his heart. He approached and gently placed his hand on the boy's shoulder, saying softly, "What's wrong? Why do you look so sad?" The boy lifted his head and looked at Sammy, saying, "I had an argument with my friend, and I feel so sad." Sammy smiled and said, "You know, forgiveness is the key to happiness. Maybe if you talk to him, you'll both feel better." The boy thought for a moment, then smiled and said, "You're right. I'll go to him right now." After this magical journey full of adventures and valuable lessons, the cloud began to descend gently, and soon Sammy found himself back in his bed. He opened his eyes and looked out of the window. The moon was still shining brightly in the sky, and the cloud waved at him from afar. Sammy smiled and whispered, "What a wonderful night. I've learned so much." He closed his eyes, knowing that the dreams to come would be full of magical adventures too. On this magical night, we learned that love and cooperation make the world a more beautiful place, and that forgiveness is the key to true friendship. Now, it's time for bed. Who knows? Maybe Sammy's cloud will visit you in your dreams tonight. Sweet dreams.